Lainey sat with a pout, thinking about how she had already lived 3 years of her life. Enoch looked at her and asked, "Are you feeling sick?" "Well, she's going through something way bigger. Enoch Wendell de Hachania, the third son, is incredibly handsome. His soft, silky blonde hair looked like melted honey." On the other side was Sylvie, asking if Lainey's stomach hurt. Sylvie Hachania, the second son, was just as beautiful as Enoch. If Sylvie is the second son and Enoch is the third, doesn't that mean there's a first son? What kind of beauty would he have if these two are already this cute? Lainey crossed her legs. Feeling annoyed, she mumbled to herself about how being surrounded by such beautiful faces only reminded her that she was in a fantasy world. If these kids were the main characters, they would have realized by now that I've been reincarnated, she thought. Sylvie tapped Lainey's forehead and looked into her eyes, saying her fever had gone down. Lainey felt a little sad, thinking that maybe they had died because they were just side characters in this world. Just then, the door creaked open, and Mr. Baristan came in, telling the boys it was time for their training. Little Enoch squeezed Lainey's cheeks and told her to let them know if she felt sick. Sylvie stood there, speechless, watching how much Enoch cared for their sister. This manhwa is titled The Gangster Baby of the Duke's Family. Lainey told Enoch not to worry, but he kissed her cheek and said, "Feel better." As he turned to leave, he promised to be back soon. But we both know it's not really up to him when he'll return. Lainey held the cheek Enoch had kissed, mumbling to herself about how awkward she felt. Suddenly, Sylvie called out to her from behind, saying she seemed different than usual. Before Lainey could reply, Mr. Baristan called Sylvie, and he stomped out of the room. Lainey waved at him, thinking she couldn't tell him anything. She regretted visiting them and rushed to her room, determined to figure things out. She decided to write everything about this fantasy world in English so no one would be able to read it. Her full name is Leonora, but her family calls her Lainey for short. She's the only daughter of House Hachania, and she's 3 years old. Sadly, she's destined to die at 19 from an incurable illness. Her father, Gaspar Desires de Hachania, is the Duke of the Willinan Empire and the Emperor's right hand man. Currently, her mother, the Duchess, was the only female admiral in the empire. Right after giving birth to Lainey, she went on a voyage with the Empress, her best friend. However, due to pirates, Lainey's mother went missing and was assumed dead. Along with the pain of losing his wife, Gaspar, Lainey's father, felt a deep sense of betrayal. He believed that the illegitimate child was Leonora, which caused him to slowly distance himself from her. Despite this, Gaspar remained loyal to the royal family. But everything changed when Leonora died. Gaspar's bitterness grew, especially toward the royal family. The only cure for Lainey's illness, the elixir, was given to the main character, Ains, who was suffering from the same disease. Because of this, Lainey was left to die. Gaspar felt guilty for abandoning Leonora, believing it led to her death. Lainey crumpled the paper she was writing on, thinking how it made sense that she was the illegitimate child. Her siblings looked like their father, while she was the only one who resembled her mother. With a determined look, Lainey decided she must get her hands on the elixir, no matter what. But there was a problem. The person who found the elixir wasn't the male lead or the emperor, it was her eldest brother whom she had never met. His name is Jacarita. Could it be that the eldest son is the one with imperial blood, since he gave the elixir to Princess Ains? Or was it all just a fake prophecy? Let's find out. Stay tuned for more chapters.